a banger? Hell yeah.
Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. We have got a lot of news to unravel today, guys. We got the GDP data came in. We had jobless report data that came in. We got information on KASPA teaming up, being mined by Marathon Digital. We've got news about Coinbase. We've got an update on the merger for ASI. There's a lawsuit against the SEC for a FOIA report. What else is there? Geez, there's so much news. You guys just got to stick around. It's going to be a great show today. This is Piper Academy. Let's get it. Class is in session. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. We come at you every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's why you guys are here. Shout out to all the alumni in the chat. It is a great Thursday morning here. It's markets just now opening up. We're getting a little bit of a bump this morning, a little pump out of that GDP data. Some of it not as bad as it should be. Some of it not as good as it should be. Kind of canceled each other out, but overall, I do believe that we are sitting in a nothing burger of GDP of economic data, and that is what is causing the markets to move, because at the end of the day, I do believe that it's all going to hinge tomorrow on the PCE numbers, and we're going to be looking at that data here in just a few. But shout out to everybody that's joining us in the chat. Thanks for having us all here. Crux of Crypto, Trade Intuition, Justin Eubanks, Alexandra G, Eric Wallen in the house, and more. I love having you guys all here, but I am not doing the show by myself. I've got my wingman today. It's not TradeFly, it's the OC guy. TradeFly out today. He will be on here tomorrow, and we may have a night show coming up soon. So, guys, let me know what you guys think in the chat about that. If TradeFly was to do a crypto nightcap, which would be a nightly recap of what happened in the markets for that day, it would be like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. And OC, how you doing? And what do you think about that?
I'm doing fantastic. I think that's a great idea because it's great to start with some news and then kind of like go to bed with already a wrap out to kind of like see where things have been moving. I mean, we all been there mining fiat over and over, and sometimes not even being able to take a look at your phone and TradingView or any other price provider software, right? So I think that would be a great idea, especially if it's kind of like a podcasty. I don't know. That would, for me, I'll be all for it. I mean, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Brocoshino Dinero said, Flyboy After Dark. Funny, it was either this or OnlyFans, and I convinced them to go this route instead of OnlyFans. So there you go. My apologies to all of the alumni that were hoping to see a TradeFly OnlyFans channel. We talked them out of it. We talked them off the ledge. So anyway, we got a lot of news to unwrap today. Crypto Trade said he would watch it. That would be amazing. A late night show. Yep. Everyone seems to think it's a good idea. C90, that is true. What did C90 say? 9 p.m. live would fill a void in the market. This is true. It would. All right. OC, how are you feeling today? What are you up to before we get into all this news? And where's your light? You seem really dark today. This is dark OC.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of like maybe it's the auto correction because today I have my full window open because it's a sunny day. Finally, I have some sun. I mean, my house is soaking wet, so I need to open up windows, turn on AC to dehumidify, so on and so forth. But other than that, today I have a beautiful, huge cup of legendary aviation coffee. And man, I'm really pumped, not only because of that, but I am actually tasting a great movement on Bitcoin right now. I don't want to call it, I don't want to jinx it, but it's been just playing out as I was expecting.
We got KASPA too.
Always makes me happen.
Did you see that
Oh,
KASPA candle
uh,
yesterday? Bro,
yes.
bro, bro.
Uh,
Okay, let's get into the news. We got a lot of news to undo. Let's get the news done, and then we'll jump in and start looking at all these charts, starting with Bitcoin. So be ready for that. Let's go jump over here. Guys, fear and greed sitting at 40. We are still sitting in fear. I have a feeling this number's going to change tomorrow. We're going to come back to X marks the spot after this. Because I have other stuff in here that we need to go over, and then those are all precursors to the articles, guys. Looking here on the daily, you can see that we've got nice daily moves going on here. KASPA up 8.9%, Maker up 12.2%, Solana's up 7.8%. You're seeing some pullback of 7.8% on AGIX and 8.7% here on Fetch. I have a feeling I know what that is, and we're going to talk about that too. But don't worry, we're going to try to find answers on how to handle what is going on here so that you don't have to be one of these people that's selling right now. WIF is up 7.9, getting a rebound off of its bottom there for the year. Jupiter up 7.7%. Let's jump. I want to see where's KASPA at on this list. Did it move up? That's what I want to see. KASPA's number 24 has not moved up yet, guys. I think KASPA is going to be in the top 10. We've said this for a long time on this show, and I've been super bullish on KASPA since it was 4.5 cents, currently sitting at 17.7 cents. Bitcoin's at 61,788 right now, and Ethereum sliding in just under that $3,500 mark. Let's go check out the liquidations here in the last 24 hours, guys. Past 24 hours, 39,489 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $101.8 million. Largest single liquidation happened on OKX. It was Bitcoin for $9.1 million. Let's jump into the economic data. You guys can see, bam, all of this printed this morning, 6:30 a.m. my time, 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And at 6:30 this morning, durable goods orders came in. Was expected to be either down 0.1% or up 0.1% of 0.2% spread there. Came in actually at the high end on the forecast. So that was good data, right? This means that they're still ordering goods. Not as high as the previous month, but still on the positive side. GDP growth rate. Remember, this is the growth rate of the U.S. economy. That's what the GDP is. And it was expected to be 1.4 to 1.3, came in at 1.4 consensus, but way lower, 2% lower than what it was in the previous quarter there for GDP growth. Then we've got the GDP price index. This is the cost of the goods that make up the GDP. Was supposed to be as high as 3.1%, actually came in at 3.1%. Bad data. So bad data, good data, right? And then we get down here, initial jobless claims, supposed to be 236,000 to 239,000 people that filed for unemployment this week, came in at 233, coming down. Jobs are not being lost as quickly. So good data. Continuing jobless claims was supposed to be in this 1.8 mil to 1.83 mil, 1.82 to 1.83 actually came in a little bit higher. So people are still filing for those unemployments. And then we get the core PCE prices, 3.7%. A little bit higher, so bad data. So we got some good data, we got some bad data. Guys, it's really going to come down tomorrow to this core PCE index right here. You can see that it's expected to be a little bit lower. This is the number one thing that they look at when it comes to where we are with inflation. So this is what the Fed's going to be looking at very, very closely too. And that is all coming in tomorrow. As of right now, expected to have a slight pullback on inflation right there. So that is what we have for the economic data. I think it's a big nothing burger because everything that was good erased by what was bad. And that ultimately means that they cannot just do a pullback. Let's just jump back over the duocam. They can't just do a pullback on and start cutting rates. They got to keep the rates higher for longer, as they've talked about numerous times. And that is what we're seeing with this data that's coming out. So I will tell you, while it might be harsh on buying a house, buying a car, so on and so forth, the longer that we are sitting at higher rates, the better off we are for investment. I'll just put that out there. But if you're trying to buy a house, it sucks. So it might be time to invest and not buy a house right now. Let's jump over and check out X marks the spot real fast, because I do want to touch on that stuff. And we're going to come over here to the news. There we go. And then I got to change this out to 2-pack because we don't have a 3-pack today. We got a 2-pack. There we go. Guys, checking out the X marks the spot today. I got a couple of things that I'm going to touch on, and then some of these are just precursors to headlines that are coming up. First off, Coinbase is suing the SEC alleging regulators are trying to cripple the crypto market. We're going to look at this article because it has to do with FOIA, and I know a lot about FOIA, so we're going to talk about that. We do have another one here, Digital Asset News. Rob, a good buddy of mine over there in Digital Asset News, shared this on X. So is anyone excited about the presidential debate tonight? If you didn't know, tonight is the first night of the presidential debates between Trump and Biden. It's going to be interesting to see. So check your local listings to find out what that is. And then we also have KASPA in the news, which, by the way, is almost at an all-time high right now. And they, Marathon Digital, some crypto mining company, Bitcoin mining, came out and said, hey, by the way, we've been mining KASPA since September, and we've got about $16 million worth of KASPA mined, which I went ahead and put some more money into Marathon. The reason why is because their earnings are coming up in August, and if they've got all that KASPA mined, and then now they are looking at this pump that we're having on KASPA, probably a good call. That's my choice. Do your own research, but at the end of the day, guys, might not be a horrible idea. Just remember, Marathon Digital last cycle did do 21,000% move to the upside, and I'll show you that chart today. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, here's what you see, the mixed data that we were talking about. Durable goods down slightly, but above forecast. GDP, it doesn't change anything. All of this data doesn't change anything. It's all about PCE tomorrow. And then this one here, guys, this is the big one. Coinbase announced they are not going to execute the migration of Fetch or AGIX or Ocean over to the new ASI. You're going to have to figure out how to do that yourself. So I'm going to get with Crux, and we're going to have to figure this out of how we do this on a cold storage wallet, this and that. Or if anybody in the chat knows, let us know in the Discord group. We'll do an AMA, and we'll talk about how do we do this, because if you've got your Fetch or your AGIX sitting on Coinbase, they will not do the work for you. They are one of the only exchanges, centralized exchanges, that are not doing the auto migration for you. So that's what I have on X marks the spot today, guys. Let's jump over here and we'll look at all those articles in a bit. OC, thoughts on any of those headlines? What are you excited about hearing about today?
Oh, well, I am excited about the politics. I do like politics, although I don't like politicians. That's kind of like a little bit of a bummer. I want to see how the debate goes, especially with Biden being a little bit missing some steps, right? I'm very curious to see how he performs, and also what is going to be Trump's posture on some of the might be hard questions about cryptocurrency. So I really want to see that being pushed there. Guys, we're in that I'm back here in Mexico, so whatever happens in the States, it directly affects us right down here. So I'm all over it. Also, I mean, KASPA, man. How do you tell me, or yeah, how do you told me at the beginning of the show, right before we get started, like you win? I told my community to.
I said 4.5 cent KASPA. This is where we called it.
Holy moly, that's been a big trip since then. But yeah, Piper has been into KASPA since a long time ago, and he's been loading his bags and telling all of us to do not financial advice, but to take a look at what he's doing, right? So I think that's a better phrase. Other than that, I'm pretty excited to see where the crypto market start moving now, because it seems that we have a trend line breaking out there in Bitcoin, and we're going to be having some good earning reports based on what you mentioned, the mining stuff. Still, it reminds Mt. Gox, but I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have an article that we're going to look at that could be some warnings coming out about that price action on Bitcoin. But let's go ahead and jump over, get a chart in right now. We'll talk about Bitcoin, and then we'll jump into some of these news articles, because, guys, we've got a lot to unravel today and unpack for you guys. So let's jump over here. take a look at this chart. Let's change it over to a 2-pack on this camera scene because we don't have 3 people. There we go. Hey, what's up, OC? Looking at Bitcoin here, guys, you can see we came in. We did have a little pullback, which we talked about yesterday, but we actually caught support on the value area low, the fixed range volume profile. Coming over here, you can see it's a very large hill up to about 63,000 for us to make. Then we have an easy side down to about 64.5 before coming up to that point of control at 67,000. So there is some indication of a fight ahead, but overall, getting that bounce off of that golden pocket that we had talked about didn't quite make it down to the white trend line that I had in there for that channel, but caught that golden pocket pretty darn good. And now what we are seeing is a bounce up to the off of the value area low and moving to the upside this morning on that economic data, guys. That economic data always has a weighted vote on price action, guys. So you got to remember that. 2 things I'm going to be watching here. 1, we do have the dynamic reactor still coming down. We have got to set a higher high. So this price has got to get above this and hold that level. And then we've got a resistance coming in at about 64.3. That is the 50% line of this channel. If I pull this over here, you'll see there is your bottom line, or your top line of that channel, your bottom line. That is the 50% line. And we had a lot of play on it back here already. So therefore, based on that and based on what we have in confluence with that dynamic reactor, that is an area of resistance that I'm going to be watching closely. But first, as I said, we've got to get and create a new higher high in this local time frame here before I get too bullish on it. Let's take a look at the oscillators and see what we're seeing down there. We did get what we talked about yesterday, a little goose head action here, and now we're starting to come up to that 0 line. Going to be watching also for that 0 line to be broken here on the Oscillator Pro, and then we do have a beautiful Heikin-Ashi green candle down there on the RSI primed, all giving us indication that we've got upside movement here. But just remember, this level right here at about 62.3 has to be broken in order for this to stay, be a change of trend on the local time frame. OC, let's kick it over, see what you're looking at on your chart, and then we'll go check out some of these articles.
Absolutely. I want to bring up, Bitcoin. I was actually doing some KASPA just for my own entertainment. Let me just remove that. Piper got that. But on Bitcoin, remember that I was expecting a lower range breakout, not breakout, but retest. So if we go to another chart here, let me go back to my main chart. On Bitcoin, you can see that I have my lower areas right here at 60K 400, and that's exactly what I tried to enter as I have a confirmation of a closure with a V-shaped recovery, just like in here. So basically, that was exactly what I was expecting. And what happened? I did enter a little bit late on my target, but still pretty close. So 60K 423.16. And yesterday I was telling you guys that I was moving my stop to enter on my second candle. Oh, come on, don't move that. Lock your feeps. Lock your feeps. All right, so looking at this circle that I can no longer grab, here we go. Second candle in the green, both body on wick. Usually for me it's the first candle body on wick, but I was a little bit slow on that one. Move my stop to entry, and then as I start seeing that reversal right here at the top of a possible rejection or fallback like here, I was taking 50% out. So I was telling you yesterday, guys, that I will be happily stopped out in profits if the market would decide to do that, and then I will be maybe re-entering as I see a breakout or a push-up. Remember that is not new. I've been waiting for that breakout or push-up right here. And finally, we are seeing that bounce did not took me out. I'm back on profits, somewhere around 20-ish% profits. And then because I'm on using 10x, not financial advice. And then we're seeing that we are making that next try to break that area. So this is not a guarantee that we're going to be breaking up. There is 2 things that I will be seeing right here. We have a range, we have a V-shaped recovery, and we have a high lower than the previous range, which means Wyckoff, right? So we could be looking at a Wyckoff range, which again, I believe that could be very interesting before we maybe on higher time frames like daily, we do a swing failure pattern or a double bottom. and then we are ready to go to the moon. All right. So remember that the next big area of resistance will be between the dynamic reactor and these two resistances. So right here between 65, 528 and 64, 552 will be the next upcoming resistances for a bullish scenario. Let's not forget that we're still bearish. All right. Let's not forget that we're still bearish. We're not out of the woods yet. Nonetheless, most of the things are pointing at a green week, upcoming week, right? Just getting prepared there. Other than that, turning it back to you, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely still in that bearish stance, guys. We got to break. We got to break through that local high there and create a local higher high. That's just the bottom line. Let's jump over and take a look at the news now. I got a couple of these articles that I'm going to unpack for you right now as we go in. Bitcoin wobbles at 61K. As U.S. government sends 4,000 Bitcoin over to Coinbase, guys. So the government back to selling off some of their Bitcoin, as well as Germany. Germany's been selling off quite a bit also. So on top of that, now you got another 4,000 Bitcoin being moved over there by the U.S. government. Not going to dive into that too deep. We know how that works. Government selling off some of the Bitcoin at a time that it's fragile. Coincidence? I think not. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that article. It's gone. Another one also, guys. Those whales are still selling off some of their Bitcoin. So Satoshi Era, not his wallet, but a Satoshi Era Bitcoin wallet. So from back in the beginning, wakes up after 14 years, sends 50 Bitcoin over to Binance, belongs to a miner who earned 50 Bitcoin as a mining reward in July of 2010, a time when Bitcoin was trading at 5 cents. He moved those 50 Bitcoin over there. Can I get rid of that? Thanks. Moved those 50 Bitcoin over to Binance to sell it. The valuation on that, guys, $3 million, $25 worth of Bitcoin, $3 million profits. So those guys are still selling off some of their very, very cheap old Bitcoin on top of that government selling. So there is some selling pressure still. Keep that in mind. That's all I want you guys to know. What else do we have in here for the news? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Marathon Digital mined $16 million in KASPA to diversify from Bitcoin. They're looking to capitalize on higher margins possible with KASPA mining, but one executive stressed the firm is in no way pivoting from its main focus of Bitcoin. This is just another thing that they're doing. I think I actually saw in one of the clips on one of the X posts, I should say, that it's 1% of their mining capacity, their energy consumption is going to KASPA. So Bitcoin mining heavyweight Marathon Digital revealed that it has mined $16 million worth of KASPA, a token designed to address Bitcoin's scalability problem. They've been doing this since September, and they're doing it to diversify with their Bitcoin. So in June 26th announcement, Marathon Digital said the move allowed the firm to capitalize on the higher margins that are possible with KASPA mining machines, which are up to 95% in some cases. By mining KASPA, we're able to create a stream of revenue that is diversified from Bitcoin. So Marathon was uniquely positioned to mine KASPA and to capitalize on higher margins that exist for those who can deploy KASPA ASICs today. So there's the big one there, because you guys remember we've been talking about those ASIC computers that the Bitcoin miners have. Not able to mine Bitcoin at its current difficulty rate. And so it looks like that is what they're doing, is using those ASICs now to mine KASPA. So could see a whole lot more KASPA flowing into the centralized exchanges soon, which would mean centralized exchange listings of KASPA, another reason for it to pump even more. Speaking of it pumping, let's go take a look at that chart and see how that's looking. Looking at KASPA here, guys, we did get a move up yesterday. You guys can see this crazy move. We were fighting for resistance right here at the phase 8 golden pocket at 16.1 cents. We finally got above it, and once it broke that, it took off straight to the value area high, because we talked about that. Guys, if we're hitting a point of control and we can make it through these phases of golden pockets, we should head to the value area high. We talked about this last week, and that is what we got going on. We got a nice rejection there. It pulled back down under that phase 9, and now on this 4-hour candle, it is fighting to do it again, creating another little bounce there, and I'm hoping to see that this moves up to 10.6 cents here. That would be the phase 10 or 19.4 cents, I should say. That would be the phase 10 golden pocket here, creating a higher high from back there. We did have another level back here at about 18.9 cents that needs to be broken also from a previous high. So that little range, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's go grab this box down here. And yep, there we go. And we're going to move that up to there. And then this is going to go to that 18.9 cent mark. And that is our new resistance level that we're going to be watching right there. Stretch it out a little bit. And that's what we're going to be watching for. That range coming in, guys, for resistance, 19 cents to 19.4 cents there on KASPA. Let's look at those oscillators and see how they're looking. Oscillator is looking like we are due for a little bit of a pullback here. Let me get rid of some Mexican spaghetti off this chart. And then we will take a look at what it has. You can see here that we do have a little pullback triggered here. We've gotten 2 bearish divergences on the Oscillator Pro. So I would not be surprised if it's not able to get through here, or if it hits that value area high, that we do get a pullback. I would think that the area to watch for support, guys, would be this phase 8 golden pocket here at 16.1 cents. And that would, what are you doing? Don't do that. Do that. That would be bullish still if it got support there, because it would be retesting old resistance there. So that would be a retest and then another pump to the upside. So plenty of time, plenty of moves, plenty of reasons for it to do that. But right now, it does look like in the short term, we could be setting up a little bit of a pullback there to retest support. Let's jump over to the Duo Cam, because I'm sure that I missed a lot of chat there. Did you see anything in the chat that came through there, OC?
Yeah, I already have updated the Discord chat.
Oh, with the alts? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You're the man. Looks like KASPA, Marathon. Yeah, let's go do Marathon since I just did KASPA, and then we'll pass it over to you to take off with whatever you want off of that list. So let me go pull up Marathon, and then we'll take a look and see where Marathon's at right now. Taking a look at Marathon, guys. This is Marathon Digital. MARA is the ticker. This is a stock. It's a Bitcoin mining company, now evidently a KASPA mining company, using those old ASICs, as we just discussed from that article there. You can see it's about $19.90 right now, getting a break above that. Getting a break above that dynamic reactor there in that candle, trying to move up. Guys, I want to show you guys something. I want to show you why I deployed money in here on this morning. For one thing, if we go to the daily, let's go to daily. You guys can see these are daily candles going all the way back here to, April of 2024. So for the last couple of months here, we had just been in this little grind to the upside, creating higher lows the whole way. And this nice little wedge here. You guys see this little pattern? That is a breakout pattern that is coming soon to a chart near you. I am going to go ahead and make the call that this is going to break to the upside. We still got a long way to go to get up to the golden pocket and the platinum pocket. That golden pocket is coming in at about $26 to $27. That platinum pocket's coming in at about the $30 range. It looks bullish, guys. On the daily, this looks extremely bullish. We're sitting down pretty low here on the daily, sitting on the oscillator and on the RSI. And if we pull this over and take a look at the weekly, at what's going on here on the weekly, we're sitting at the mid-level, and this is poised for a huge move. I do absolutely believe that Marathon is setting itself up for a massive, massive move when it gets that breakout. And the other thing that I talked to you guys about earlier, if we pull this over here, you'll see right here, that little box right there, that is coming in August 24th. That is going to be the earnings report day for Marathon. We got plenty of time to move before then, and then with them mining that $16 million worth of KASPA, if KASPA stays to the upside, Marathon Digital's price should absolutely give us a great pump on their earnings report. So let's kick it over to UOC, see what you're looking at on your chart there, and I'm going to check out the chat. Guys, let me know what you think about Marathon Digital and KASPA TA today.
Absolutely. So right here we have yesterday's analysis on Solana, right? Also remember that I visited two assets of Solana, two different price providers. This is from Binance, and remember that we were expecting, since we had this kind of like a bullish pennant, I was expecting at least a bounce or going to that dynamic reactor to bounce back up and then break up with the flip of the ribbon. Seems like that flip of the ribbon happened a little bit earlier than I was expecting, and we have, if we can close above that zero line, we can have a confirmed breakout. Why? Because that is a big body candle with going through dynamic reactor. Look at what happens once we have a big body candle going through the dynamic reactor. That usually is a confirmed breakout, either to the upside or to the downside, if on and only if we close either above or below, or the other way around from the where the price action is coming from, right? So just to make things clear, if we close this candle above the dynamic reactor, that will be a bullish breakout confirmation, right? You also can see two lines in here, this one and this one. This secondary is from the dynamic reactor, so let's just remove it. And the other one, it is, here we go. It is this, volume area or liquidity zone that we have built up right up here. And as you can see, is acting as a resistance. Is to be expected. Very important, it is a bearish resistance. So we can go once again, maybe breaking through, finding some support, and then going back up. Basically, what we're doing is just offsetting our analysis. Here we go, like this, just to compensate for where the breakout is happening. So the movement to the upside is pretty much playing out a little bit earlier than I was expecting. I was expecting a breakout for tomorrow or maybe for Friday, for Saturday, but seems like it's running faster. Look at our prophecy is back on market pumps. Let's just wait for this confirmation before we start cheering up for Solana, right? Let me just go very quick to the next Solana asset that I had made a little bit of a analysis in here. And there we go. Just so you know, guys, right here we were looking at this huge, this is a little too messy, a huge triangle, which by the way broke out as we were expecting, and then we could be going for the retest. If this retest plays out, we could be going all the way up all to 171. But again, this is way too into the future. Let's go one step at a time, but it is looking great at this point, right? Remember, Bitcoin is still bearish, but as long as Bitcoin is doing a little range, well, smell that. Smells like alt season, or at least micro alt season. So yeah, that's what I'm saying right here. Turning it back to you.
Yeah, we got actually some news on Solana also. Warriors talking about there. Shout out to Ada Ace. He sent this morning before the show. Van Eck files for Solana ETF. Solana rises 6% on this data. This marks the first Solana ETF to be filed in the U.S. 6 days after a similar product was launched in Canada. So, guys, this is coming in right here as we're entering into that window of the ETF approval for Ethereum, which should be between now and July 4th. That is what analysts are saying. We should hear something on this at least. But yeah, we got a Solana ETF that has been filed for there. So in the US from Van X. So needed to get that info out. Shout out to Ada Ace for sending that over to Crux, and shout out to Crux for dropping it in the chat for me. So shout out to Amy Lives Crypto also. She's on a plane getting ready to take off. Had to stop in and hit that like button. Safe travels, my friend. Much love to you. Have fun, and we'll see you next week. Guys, Amy Lives Crypto is going to be a guest next week here on the show on Piper Academy. So I believe it's July 4th. She's going to be on here for the 4th of July, little freedom celebration here. So let's go ahead and jump over into my chart. I've got a little TA to do. I had a request for link and render, so I'm going to go ahead and knock out link first, and then we'll get into whatever you got going on there, OC, and then we'll come back around to render. Link. How about that? Let's do that. Bam. All right, look at here, guys. We hit that bottom level. As we discussed before, we hit that bottom level perfectly there. Got that nice bounce there. This is coming in on Monday. Hit that value area low. hit the bottom of that channel. I said, this is probably a good spot to buy. I said this on Monday morning because it is at the bottom of this channel. This is the trade channel right here that, and it likes to trade in ranges. And if it's going to do that and we're hitting the value area low, we're at least going to the point of control, which had happened. We did a little pullback and now we're heading back into that again. We got the dynamic reactor coming in at about that 50% line, guys. That's at $14.86. Be watching for that. But once we get through that, that should be a clean run right at $16.57, the top of that range. Looking like we are getting a zero level bounce here and starting to get a green candle on the Heikinashi for RSI Prime. Looking pretty bullish here on Chainlink. That's what I got for that. Let's kick it over to you. Then we'll come back around to Render.
Absolutely. Let me first show you guys that if we start ignoring these areas right down low here, we have an up-ranging area right here, or at least a support. Also, if we don't, we still have a technical higher low, right? So right down here, this is what I want to see for a phase of accumulation, because it usually indicates me that we're going to start kind of like ranging above this area. And as long as we start breaking and then holding our oscillator right down here, we have the heads up for a breakout retest, and off we go, right? What is the main threat right now for Cardano or Cardanzo? It is the dynamic reactor coming in strong here, so we need to be careful on that one. That could maybe just to be a party pooper if we're talking about, or if we're expecting a breakout to the upside. Nonetheless, it's looking good. It's not looking that bad. And also something to point out, whenever we have a triangle, and let me just be a little bit more dramatic here. Whenever we have a triangle, because this is a lower low, a higher low, right? And as you can see, higher lows, higher lows, and higher lows. And we have a flat, either flat line. We usually tend to break to the flat line, right? So this is the way that I am expecting to have a breakout. But again, it will be depending on the volume right here, on the momentum, as we try and stay above the zero line, along with a breakout, maybe a fake out here, and then a confirmed breakout to the dynamic reactor, bounce back down for a retest, and off we go. Remember, I'm all about the retest, and you can see here that we have not only the dynamic reactor for the retest, if we can make it, but also will be becoming support once again if we can make that breakthrough. So not looking that bad, but possible rejection of these areas. Just be warned. Again, we're not bullish, but it seems like we want to break bullish.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing on a lot of things, but there's resistance sitting like right there. It's got to get through those resistances on almost everything. But looking at Render, let's jump over to my chart, take a look at that. Guys, Render here. We talked about, again, another same scenario setup. Value area low, golden pocket support area, had it numerous times. We talked about this was your area. We marked it green down there. Even if you didn't get, even if you didn't catch this little fake outs below it to the value area low, you had a great opportunity moving to the upside, getting past the point of control on Render right now. And it is getting some upside movement here. It does have the dynamic reactor coming in at about $8.13, guys. But this is looking really bullish. Again, another higher low that is creating. It looks like it's about to create a new higher local higher high. And then again, zero level and RSI. It's almost a cut and paste of what we're seeing across the board on a lot of these altcoins. But I have a theory of why we're seeing such a bullish move right now, because you can see that Render's up a little bit further and higher and harder than what some of the other tokens were that we were looking at. And I think a lot of it has to do with this right here, guys. Looking at this article, Coinbase opts out of ASI token migration as $7.5 billion merger proceeds. Despite Coinbase's decision, users can migrate their AI tokens using self-custodial wallets to join that merger. If you guys aren't tracking, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't tuned in here, this has been going on. It starts I believe July 1st. It's going to be starting there. July 1st. Ocean, Fetch, and AGIX all merging into one token called ASI. That is the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance there for its users. The migration involves $7.5 billion token merger between the AI protocols of SingularityNet, Fetch AI, and Ocean Protocol. because Coinbase is such a large US base, and this is where a lot of people have probably bought their AI tokens. The fact that they are not supporting this mechanism, they're not going to automatically convert users' holdings over. They opted out of this. This means that you got to do it yourself, which is why I believe that we're seeing this AGIX sell-off and this Fetch AI sell-off, because people said it's easier for me to just sell this stuff and then buy ASI token when it gets listed. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. We are not going to do that here in the Piper Academy, though. Crux is working on a step-by-step list for us, and him and I are probably going to do this for the AMA next week. We've got time. The final one-to-one fetch to ASI transfer merge does not happen until the second to third week. So after the 15th of July, towards this like second to third week there. So we've got time on that, and we will be walking you guys through that. So, cause I'm going to have to do it myself. So the best way to teach something, do it yourself, right? Then you know how to teach it. So we're going to be getting that set up and figuring it out. But I do believe that's why Render is pumping so much harder today than the other AI plays, because those are being sold off. And I think people are holding their money in Render so that they can have their money in something that's got, some growth still, and then they're going to go back over to ASI. But if you're an alumni member, you're going to do it the right way. We're going to get this figured out for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump over to your chart, OC, and see what you got there. That was Render. I'll be back to do some more TA in a second.
Absolutely. I have Fetch AI because we have been tapping on Fed recently. This was yesterday's analysis. As you can see, I was expecting a bounce out of the cloud vertex in here, because usually when we are above, up above in the zero line, usually that vertex or that border between the green area and the red area, it usually acts as a support, right? As you can see, it did not quite happen the way, although by applying confluence and looking where the dynamic reactor is at, and also adding a couple of support and resistances, that's where we can start looking for possible bouncing zones. So as you can see, we were very extremely close to get to that area of bouncing. That bouncing area, we fell just a little bit short before that rejection. That's exactly how I get my rejection areas, by confluence between the automatic support and resistance for chart prime and maybe something else like order blocks, liquidity area, so on and so forth, right? So right now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a possible re-entry on Fetch AI. I will be expecting to see that flip of the ribbon. So let me just remove this, and I'll be looking for the flip of the ribbon wherever it happens. Most likely scenario is to happen in here, maybe with a little bit of a fake out, something like in here, what happened right down here, or the worst case scenario will be all the way down there. But as long as we are on support, and what is my support area? Right where we are right now, or on this trend line that we've drawn along, maybe with a little bit of a fake out, if that is the case, right there to this liquidity area. But so far, looking good on Fed AI. Another important thing that we could be expecting is not there yet. It is that we bounce a little bit in here, and we form a head and shoulders. So be careful with that one, because the estimate breakout will be below the delta of volume of this area. Could be a little bit dangerous, but I don't think that that's going to happen. Still placing into my radar. Remember, a prepared trader, it's a smart trader. So turning it back to you, Piper.
Sweet. Jumping over here to Clean Spark, guys. Taking a look at Clean Spark. Had a request for that. Said if you have time, we've got a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and check out Clean Spark. This is going to forever be my stance on Clean Spark until a certain level gets broken, guys. This is it. And I talk about this all the time on Clean Spark. It is the golden pocket here between $16.14 and $15.22. I do have a T box here that goes a little bit below it. Comes in at about $15 even. To the upside, about $16.34. Anytime that it's in this range and it hits this bottom of golden pocket, 0.618 at 15.22, this is my buy point. This is where I buy every time. I dollar cost average when it's down here, because it has been a key area going all the way back here to February, 13 February of this year. So the level that I talk about that I will start to relook at how where my buy-in level is here about $13.87. That's where we bounced down to here. The value area low is right there, guys, at $13.28. So this would be where my DCA would become. I would probably dump in a lot more starting at this point. Down to the 50% line, which is at 1265. But anytime it's in here, I just dollar cost average on CleanSpark. It's looking strong today, guys. It does look like we could have some upside movement coming here. You can see we're starting to get a curvature there of the oscillator ribbon. We've been trading down here pretty low in that 30% mark. We don't typically stay down there that long. The last time we were down here doing that grind led to this massive run up to the golden pocket at $21.08. So we're looking pretty good there. And then again, we do have earnings coming out on August 24th, just like with Marathon and Riot. So that's what I'm watching there. We're above that point of control, guys. If we're above the point of control, we've got the platinum pocket coming in $21, $18.88. So we'll say $19 to $21 is the platinum pocket, and then the value area high, because we are getting above that point of control. If we get through that platinum pocket, guys, you're looking at $24 CleanSpark. So that's what I got there. Let's kick it back over to UOC. Take a look at what you got there.
Absolutely. I want to go a little bit away from the cryptocurrencies just for a second here. I want to take a look at how Brent crude oil is doing. I think crude oil is a good indicator on how things are moving at this point on society. And as we can see, we are within the same range that we are looking for, that we've been looking for a long time in here, with that little tilt to the upside. In fact, if we are a little bit picky here, we could be maybe trying to find a head and shoulder pattern. If we reject out of this area to a big support, we could be creating the right shoulder, and that could be good news if you're holding or if you're trading oil in here. Let me just do that measure target. Measure target, I don't think that is going to be the actual breakout point or the actual target. I believe that we have a big resistance there to be broken. But if I start looking at where do I have those big support and resistances, I can see that right here, I have a trend line. I have my dynamic reactor. I have another trend line. I have a couple of order blocks, loud order blocks right there. Also, I have a ton of resist or support. And then the next resistance, it is all the way up here to 86.71. So looking good for crude oil so far. And then, yeah, I mean, this could be a good opportunity for you to position yourself with maybe a movement that crude oil could be doing in the upcoming months. So not financial advice, by the way. So turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. I do want to talk in this news article real fast. Last news article of the day, guys. Like I said, we had a lot to go through. Coinbase is suing the SEC and the FDIC over FOIA. If you don't know what that is the Freedom of Information Act. It is a federal law where anybody and everybody can go and say, we have a right to information because you as an agency cannot withhold information unless it's classified, which goes into a whole nother ball of wax. But if it is not a classified data, which the SEC and the FDIC would not have anything that is classified, then they have to hand it over to the courts. And Coinbase is suing the SEC and the FDIC under that Freedom of Information Act to get data, because they say that the federal regulators are trying to cut out crypto. Let's jump into this, and I'll explain why I said about the classified data thing, because you cannot classify something if it doesn't meet the criteria to be classified information. There's literally a manual that says if this and this and this, then this. If it doesn't meet that, you can't just classify something in order to keep it being, to make it unavailable with FOIA. That's actually against the law too. So there's no worries about them doing anything like that, because if they did, they would be in all kinds of trouble. I've never seen anyone literally classify something to avoid FOIA. So they're going to have to hand this information over to Coinbase because the FOIA, that's what it's for. They retained consultant from History Associates, Inc. to file the FOIA request, took aim at the SEC and FDIC in lawsuits filed in the U.S. District Court in the District of Columbia, that's Washington, D.C., on Thursday. The crypto exchange accused federal financial regulators of trying to cut off the crypto industry from the banking sector in the complaints. Crypto exchange Coinbase filed 2 lawsuits, one against the SEC, one against the FDIC, for not complying with Freedom of Information Act requests, and has asked a court to force those agencies to comply. Coinbase, which retained that History Associates Inc., took their aim at those 2 companies, accusing federal financial regulators of not giving that information over that they asked for. And that information, they say, will prove that they are trying to keep the crypto industry out of banking. For nearly 2 years, a wide array of federal financial regulators, including the FDIC and the SEC and the Federal Reserve Board, have used every regulatory tool at their disposal to try to cripple the digital asset industry. The SEC and the FDIC have declined to comment. Shocker. Requests sent to the SEC. They want to know from them, literally, hey, this ETH 2.0, we want all the information on this. We want to know exactly what you have going on with ETH. So they want that. We already seen that there was a lawsuit dropped on that recently. So they want all the information that they have on it. And then lastly, they want to know from the FDIC what they've done to get that info. In the complaint against the FDIC, Coinbase said they sent the FOIA request on the agency's pause letters. FDIC began issuing pause letters between March 2022 to May 2023 to financial institutions and banks, asking them not to expand crypto-related activities and provide them for more information. According to a 2023 report, the FDIC from the office, the Inspector General, the IG for the FDIC office, and they want to know exactly what they said on that and the reasons why. So that's what we have going on there, guys. Coinbase going after some big agencies with lawsuits. Want to know Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. I think that if they get some of that information and some of that stuff is exposed, then we can get some of those, politicians to go, look, this is wrong, bring it before Congress, wave the stick at them, and maybe give us an opportunity for crypto to do what crypto's supposed to do in the financial sector. It is fintech at the end of the day. Maybe with them out of the way, we can get a haktua on that candle and watch it, shoot up. So there you go. OC, let's kick it over to you and see what you got, bro.
Absolutely. Yesterday, or I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, we were looking at buy requests at Jupiter. I am holding a ton of Jupiter, just so you know, a ton for my wallet, right? It's not that I'm so much of a degen. I am a degen, not that big of a one. But we're having right now what seems to be a breakout. This is looking perfectly because, again, we were looking at this range. In here, we had a swing failure pattern right here, or if you will, a cricket double bottom, and then a break of a structure in here, right? Or, sorry, a change of character. We had a breakout, a higher high. We had also a micro bullish flag, and we're making the move through that dynamic reactor. Also, look at that beautiful movement. We're going for the retest. And what we do on the retest is not about the breakout, it's about the retest. This was your entry, and off you go. Remember, we're still bearish until this candle closes above the dynamic reactor. Be aware, because we'll still have some time to maybe change of opinion on this market. But look at that. It's just turning green, and we have our second red tick right there. So just be careful. If you were already too long, this is a great opportunity to start taking some profits just to be on the safe side of trading. All right. So far, looking bullish, moving great. And I'm expecting now that the crypto markets start making that shift. Something that I want to show you guys, it is that right here on the Piper Academy Discord over members channel general. Yesterday, I posted something that I've been looking at and making an investigation on my own. You can follow my steps in here. You don't need to go and buy or purchase those books. You can find either descriptions or PDF or whatever you like. Just what I'm trying to tell you guys right here is that we have a 20-year cycle that we were talking about it yesterday with Trading Tuition. And that 20-year cycle, look at that millennials generation. That is the civic heroes of this area should be, but we haven't had that confrontation yet, right? And look at by the 2028 to 2033, the newer generations, they are adaptive, they are artistic, but they lead us into crisis. This is not me saying it, all right? This is just how society plays out, and we've been seeing cycle over cycle over cycle over cycle. So most likely this could be repeating. And then how do you profit on this? Well, one of those things that I will recommend is reading this. What is it? Oh, come on. Change of the World Order right here. This is a book, or also you can watch its author's video. And that is how you start timing society predictions with decadency, with also global order, uh, global order shift or movements. So just be prepared where it's coming. If you want to learn more, you have all the links in there. And remember, you don't need to follow those links. You can do your own research there. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Does a tinfoil hat come with that research data?
Not just yet, but I mean, we can make a deal with it.
All right. So yeah, if you guys follow that and you subscribe to all of OC's listings there, and you go through the whole checklist, you will get a tinfoil hat sent to you. It might be just tinfoil. You have some assembly required. So oh, good Lord. Let's jump over. I'm actually going to do a little walkthrough here on our Discord also, because I don't think that people realize how much is in our Discord. You were talking about that. I just went over and looked, and I was like, man, there's so much good data in here. So let's go take a look at that. Here under the members channels, guys, and if you guys don't know, I just dropped a link there. Piper Academy, join the alumni, how to get access. And it's any of the links down below. Just hit the join button down below if you're on web. But it's joining the alumni. You can get it. I think it's $4.99 is the cheapest one. Matter of fact, I might actually, let me do a little something here. Let's see here. Oh, I can't do it there. Tomorrow. No, actually next week. I'll do it next week. When Amy Lives Crypto is on, I'm going to do a giveaway for some memberships, and we'll give away some memberships. So keep that in mind. Remember that, guys. Let me know in the chat. When Amy Lives Crypto is on, I'm giving away memberships. Anyway, Crux put this in here. He's got this whole project deep dives in here. 7 KASPA meme coins that are coming out on the KRC20. Casper, Nacho, Caster, Yodo, K-Cats, Goad, and then K-Paw. These are all meme tokens that are going to be coming out on KRC20. So he's got his thing on there. We've got deep dives on Blast, which actually is up like 40%, guys, today. And this was dropped yesterday evening. So, you know, some things there, just so much data. He puts out these great little charts here, you know, like near Ondo, BRC20 tokens, how they compare to Bitcoin, if there's a good call or a bad call, does a whole return on investment with that. Like, there's so much data just in the project deep dives, trade setups, active community over here, a Reggie Classic, Mr. Man, everybody dropping stuff in there. And then also over here under general chat, this is just our area where you can ask questions and stuff. We got the Academy Library where that newsletter drops in at. If you haven't seen the newsletter, there's great stuff in there. And then, of course, today, we've got TA time with me on here. It's this afternoon. I think that time, let me look here at the events. Magna and Summa TA session at 3 p.m. today. So, guys, we're going to be, there's a lot of things that you get for that join membership. You guys should check it out. And I will give a giveaway for some of those memberships next week also. So Kyle Phil said, I'm very late. My bad. I'm sorry. Let me go jump over and do AVAX real fast. And this will round out the show today, guys. We did have a 1-to-1 on the Fibonacci's here that got broken on AVAX. It's sitting pretty low. I won't lie, guys. It's super low right now. Matter of fact, if we go over here and pull a fixed range volume profile from its cycle low all the way over here, you'll see that we are almost down to the value area low. But right now we're trying to pull back up into that 1-to-1, and we've got the dynamic reactor sitting right above us. My problem is with AVAX right now, we're already starting to see divergences printing here, bearish divergence printing there, and we're getting pretty high already as low as we are on price. Could see another pull down from here. AVAX looking pretty weak right now. So that is what we have time for there, guys. Did I even go to my chart? I didn't. Sorry about that, folks. 1-to-1. 1-to-1 line there. You can see that we're almost down to that value area low. But here's what I was talking about. There's that divergence, and we're pretty high on all of this, looking to come down. Still got to get into some critical resistance, a dynamic reactor, the platinum pocket, the point of control. With us being this high on the Oscillator Pro and the RSI primed, likely could see some more downside, and it's looking weak. So sorry about that. Bye-bye. All right, that's what I got. OC, thanks for joining me today, man.
My pleasure, brother.
And tomorrow, TradeFly will be here. We'll have the trio back. We can go back to this and be, trio right there. TradeFly. Put TradeFly here. So that'll be good. All right, guys. That is all we got time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. A lot of news to unpack. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you guys need to be aware that we could see some upside, but we do have some key levels of resistance. Let me just double check and see what's going on with Bitcoin. Still fighting that previous high that we have to break. So unless we break that, guys, could easily be pulling back down from here. So OC, tell these guys what they get if they hit that like button today, because we need more likes, guys. It helps the algorithm. I know you guys hate hearing smash that like button, but it really does tell Google and YouTube that you guys like this content, so they push it out so that we grow the community. It would help us immensely. So take that 5 seconds and you get undying love from the show here. What do you got for him, OC?
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much for being here, sticking us with us, and also please click that like button, because if you do and you have a sweet tooth or you're craving for something salty, when you click that like button, that portal on the back of your fridge will be activated, and something that was missing for your sweet tooth or for your salty craving will be appearing right there. You just need to share it, below those frozen foods, behind those bottled things. So click the like button and see that magical dessert appear at the back of your fridge. I don't guarantee that it's not spoiled, but it will be appearing.
I don't have that problem with my fridge. When I can't find something in there and it's missing, I just go get Detective Wifey, and she just walks right in and grabs it right out of in front of me. She knows how to reach through the portal. So I have that power. Guys, we appreciate you joining us here today on Piper Academy. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning for Friday. We're going to have TradeFly back on the show, the trio, bringing you guys the weekly closeout. And then we are going to be here next week. And Amy Lives Crypto is going to be live with us. If you guys are in the summa cum laude or the magna cum laude, I will see you guys this afternoon for TA talks or for TA time in the Discord. Don't miss that. And we'll look at some more charts and give you an update today, guys. Until then, we'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys news, charts on the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. We're about to go raid Randy Hipper. Make sure you guys drop those graduation caps in there. We're going to redirect right after this. Stay tuned. Trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!